Oh well. Hello. Am I here, there, or anywhere? What am I? 0, colon, 12, 13, 14. It is counting up, some seconds or something. Okay. It looks like it's working. Great. Okay. Well, the camera is, of course, it's the one that I have on a cord, so I can move it all around. But anyway, it's sitting in a box of junk. Well, not junk. You should say that to people that their stuff is junk. But I have a great. I'll show you what it is right here. It's this. It was in this box. See, and that's not exactly junk, is it? See, I got that. I got this. I got things in there. Basically. Each thing in there has some little use to me, so that's it. So anyway, that's all stuff that is useful to me. And no, I don't smoke these. This is just one experimental buy I made. I made experimental buy of these. And what do I have in this box, right? What is in that little old box? I'll show you what's in there. I lost a cigarette package. This came in a cigarette package. Darn it! Wait a minute. I'll show you. That came in a cigarette package. It's a magician's cigarette. That's all. These are the filters, or whatever, the flavors that you tack on to the electronic cigarette. And buried in there is the whole plastic apparatus for charging the electronic cigarette. That's an electronic cigarette charger. So, see, I have my own little tricks. And I did learn it, honestly, from a real magician somewhere in the Netherlands. And so anyway, I did my internet research. I found out where I could buy that trick. And I didn't give it away, so, well, whatever. You know how I am. My friends know that I do not keep secrets well. So anyway, there it is. That's my box for it. But anyway, whatever. Anyway, so this is, yeah, and right, it was my bad, or whatever they call it. Right, I believe, I don't know if this is, the most accurate fact on the internet, but I believe when I discovered this, this English problem, it was my English problem. It surprised the hell out of me. I didn't know I could do it. But anyway, it was mine, and I spelled a very common English word in a special way, and somehow I was so comfortable spelling the word this way, I couldn't figure it out. It's obviously a mistake. The word is not spelled this way. I was very comfortable spelling the word that way, and of course, what could I do? What could I do with that word, I had to retype it many times because, bingo, who would understand what I was spelling? They would just say, oh, you're just, hopeless dyslexic, and, at least on that word, you were very dyslexic. And I have to admit, yes, I'm dyslexic, but usually it's typing. When I handwrite words, I'm not dyslexic much that I know of. I just handwrite the word, la-di-da, handwrite it, and everything comes out the way I learned it, if I ever learned it. I mean, I had a teacher, a wonderful woman, 6th grade teacher, and she complained, she said, well, I'm sorry, but he is reading ahead because he cannot accomplish a spelling test. The way he accomplishes that spelling test without reading ahead. He is reading ahead. So, as far as I knew, now this is my story. That's her side. She was honest. She was being factual. And on my side of it, I figured spiritually, these kids are helping me because I have no idea how to spell the word, right? No idea. So I would spell some words on my psychic bed, right? I would just put myself in the most loving state I could under the tremendous stress of the situation. And I would say, well, how would the best students in this class spell this word? I love you, darling. And I would just write out, like automatic writing. I would write out the best spelling that I figured existed in the class. So some words, it may not have worked. The magic may not have worked every time, but some of them I got right, Some of them I did. I didn't get 100% on any spelling test. Not in that class I didn't. But, our teacher, who was, another one of these wonderful Western scientific ladies. I mean, she wasn't a scientific lady. She was just a normal woman coping with men in the West, She was familiar with scientific methods, ideas, all that sort of thing. And she was cooperating, with the Western, activity, as much as she could. She was giving her best estimation in terms of, what men in the West do. They do a little bit of science, So anyway, she's just being compatible, with what was going on. And she used those ideas and probably used them very well, probably a lot better than a lot of men, because women are awfully good at language, awfully good. So anyway, that's what happened. I didn't, just copy someone's paper. I just didn't do it. I knew that was wrong. I couldn't copy someone's paper, and yes, I did feel like I was cheating somehow every time I did that, because I don't know, there were words that I didn't have any experience writing. Of course, almost every single word I had heard on the television, right? Every single word that ever came up, I do believe, I had heard on the television, but I never had the opportunity to write the word. I never had that job. I never had to write anything using, all the words I heard on television. I just heard words on television, and I was like the, whatever you call it. I loved all those words I heard on television. I loved them. So, maybe some old lady, in a Jimmy Stewart movie would say, the child is pixelated, They probably would. They would probably say, oh, he's pixelated. He loves words, So anyway, maybe I was. Maybe I love words. Maybe I was a little too pixelated for whatever it was. And that's a big part of, well, I shouldn't go into that, because that is really, it's the frontier, it's one of the frontiers of psychology. They're trying to cope with it, and they want to take it out of the liberal realm of name calling, right? We don't want to call names on these persons who are very, very good at, memorizing words, It's the sound of them, applying the best definitions they can come up with, because they don't, these people, that memorize words, there's no one who takes the care to really elaborate good definitions for the words, and they think, that's the way it is, right? And so, of course, when you understand something, if you hear something that you're fond of, why not have an understanding for it, Teachers can teach it, but, whatever, And really, can you give a definition for a beautiful word with beautiful rules? Because I think people that love beautiful rules could remember beautiful definitions for beautiful words. So it could happen to you. Whatever. And no,